Welcome back to This Day. Jerry Sluszewicz with Pacific Financial Planners is joining us now. Jerry, it's so nice to see you once again.
Great to see you again too, Bobby.
Yeah, have you been enjoying your summer? Have you taken any vacations?
Yeah, a little. I'm doing like long weekends a little bit here and there. Nothing major though.
So within driving distance?
Driving distance or, quick trip. Yeah.
That's nice. Now, do you have a favorite location you like to go to?
No, I like to explore. I like to see new things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a bucket list thing to just go to different places.
That's wonderful. Now, your kids, are your kids still at home? Are they out of the house? Or?
Well, I have a son who's going to be a senior in college, and he's going back in the next couple of days. And
Okay.
my daughter is married and going to have a baby. So that's all big news in the last probably 30 days or so.
Oh, that's exciting. How neat. And so you used to be a volunteer youth coach. Would you do that for the grandkids?
Oh, I think they'll probably need someone younger than me that's more in touch with it. No, I think I did my stint. I coached a lot. I did a lot of different things. Yeah, I was a volunteer, in many different ways. And then remember, I was a volunteer that got involved in city government, and that was kind of a thing that taught me a lesson to not volunteer for politics anymore.
Oh, really? It taught you a lesson to not volunteer.
For politics.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, that's cute. So, last time you were here, we talked about safe investments and preserving your wealth. And today we're talking about maximizing your retirement.
Yeah, it's all kind of the same concept, Bobby, is that when you get to retirement or near retirement, let's say 55 plus, this community right here, you've got to make this mental switch from trying to grow your money because the markets always come back. But sometimes it takes 13, 15 years to come back. When that market peaked in March of 2000, it came back by October of 2007 only to fall another 60%, and it wasn't until 2013. So it was a 13-year period of time just recently that it took until the S&P 500 broke even. So if you're drawing income because you've given up your paycheck, you can't wait that long because you'll start depleting your assets. So what you want to do is you want to switch to investments that pay dividends or interest, which are much more predictable. And a lot of people don't do that because when we're younger, you have a 401k or a 403b or some sort of retirement plan, and you just want to grow. And so it's kind of like the girl you brought to the dance. You say, well, it got me, was successful so far. But the difference is if you give up a paycheck and now you might have a pension or Social Security or maybe some other money's coming in, but you need income from your investments to support any shortfall you have to maintain your lifestyle.
Okay, all right, it makes sense, yeah. And then most people have IRAs, but there's different rules on when they can start accessing their money. What are the rules and why do they have these rules? Yeah,
it's complex. There's a lot of different rules for different scenarios. But if you're saving for retirement in an IRA, you've got to be 59 and a half to start withdrawing without an additional 10% penalty. And so this was something that was established, the ERISA rules were established around 1974, and the government knew that pensions, certainly in the private sector, were kind of going away, and they put the onus of responsibility for saving for retirement on yourself. So they created this individual retirement account where you could start putting your own money away and saving for retirement. But the government's broke. So if you don't start withdrawing the money, by now 73, a lot of people aren't aware, we went from 70 and a half to 72, and now it's not until 73, they have what's called a required minimum distribution where they start to force you to start drawing money off. Why? They want you to pay taxes on that money. Some people don't need that money in retirement, but probably 70–80% of people do need to live off of some of that money. So they're doing it anyways, but the government forces you to take it whether you need the money or not. So, that's the general rule on IRAs is 59 and a half to start accessing it. 73 years old, you must start accessing it.
Okay, and then what is the penalty if someone doesn't take it?
Well, they just changed that rule. It was the largest tax penalty out there. It was a 50% penalty. Let's say you were supposed to draw off $10,000 and you didn't. You would need to draw the $10,000 the next year in addition to the next year's withdrawal. So now your taxes are going to be higher, plus a 50% penalty. So they lowered it down to 25%. So it would be a $2,500 tax on that $10,000 you didn't take, but it's also going to be raise your income this year. So it's a pretty steep penalty. You've got to be able to take that. It is the client's responsibility. Yes, advisors should help, and advisors should let you know, and if you're with Fidelity or Vanguard, they should let you know. But in the end, it's always your responsibility on your own money.
Okay. And can RMD amounts be rolled over into another tax deferred account?
No, they can't. What happens is you have to take your RMD, your required minimum distribution, out. Now, if you want to move some money, let's say do a Roth conversion, after you take your RMD, so we're assuming you're 73 now, then you could take some of the money, pay the taxes, and move it into something called a Roth, which was established in like the late 90s, around 1998. And that money grows tax-free forever. So there is some benefit for people to convert their IRA to a Roth IRA. But the key is this, is let's say you're not 73, you're over 59 and a half and not quite subject to the RMD rules. If you want to do some real good tax planning, perhaps, it's not a one hat fits all, but perhaps you should start withdrawing some of your money, like these tax brackets, it ranges. So if you're kind of in the middle of that tax bracket, take some out without putting yourself in a higher tax bracket and convert that to a Roth IRA, and then you'll never have to pay taxes on it. And when you hit 73, you'll have a lesser amount to withdraw from, so you're reducing, you're doing tax control in the future. You've got a lot of opportunity to do that between 59 and a half and 73.
Very interesting. Okay, and so do the required minimum distributions, do they ever stop? If you have to be doing it by 73, is there an age that it stops?
No, they make you keep taking it out. At some point in time around 95, I think it's about half. You got to take half your money, but it's kind of like that half-life. Half, you're never taking all of it.
Okay.
But so no, they don't ever require you to take all of it. The minimum distribution means that's the minimum. You can always take all your money out whenever you feel like it. It's just a matter of taxes and penalties.
Okay. And what about people who are younger than the age that they have to start drawing it out? Is there anything they should be doing for the future?
Yeah, Bobby, that's kind of what I was talking about. That is really when you have a lot of control. Okay. So if you retire, let's say 62 or 65 or even 67, you've got those few years that you can start really doing some strong tax planning. So a lot of people think, well, RMDs, required minimum distributions, oh, I don't have to worry about that because I'm 65 years old. No, you actually have more control than someone who's over 73. That's the time to really start looking at it, is in those gap years between 59 and 73, because you could do some real good tax planning.
Okay. How about if you inherit an IRA?
Yeah, totally different rules now. It used to be that you could stretch that over your lifetime. Not anymore, because the government is broke. I mean, we're $32.5 trillion in debt. They want their tax money. So unless you're a spouse, if you're the spouse and you inherit your spouse's IRA, then you treat it like your own. But if it's a child, if it's a neighbor that you inherit the money from, niece, nephew, whatever, grandchild, you have 10 years to take that money out. And that rule passed about 3 or 4 years ago, and they're still in court arguing whether or not you have to take minimum distributions every year. And as of right now, you don't, but they're saying you might have to take minimums at some point. The court might rule on that, but all the money has to come out within the next 10 years. So let's say you're 62 and you're still working. You may want to defer on taking those distributions until you retire to put you in a lower tax bracket, because otherwise, if you're still working, you might, because you're required to take that money out within 10 years, you might pay more taxes. There's a lot of things. A lot of people, Bobby, think that the best way to invest is find the best stock or mutual fund or bond. Well, if you could save money on taxes, my rule is pay your fair share and not a penny more.
I like that theory. So, and then real quickly, because we're just about out of time, the financial forum is coming up Thursday, August 10th, but it's going to be at a different location.
Last month we didn't have any air conditioning. It was hot, I got to tell you.
Wow.
So I think they're still working on that. We're going to be in Clubhouse 3, the Performing Arts Center, but we're going to be in Dining Room 2. It's a different venue, same time, 3 to 5 p.m. this Thursday, the 10th.
Okay,
next
great.
Thursday, the 10th.
Yes, next Thursday. Well, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. And for all the residents, if you have any further questions, please come to the forum and you can talk to Jerry or contact their company. So But don't go anywhere because we have the aqueducts coming up right after this.